It was supposed to be fake, a marriage on paper, nothing more. But somewhere between the lies, the danger, and the vows I never meant to take, I fell for him. And the worst part? He never told me who he really was. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Mafia Hidden Dairy, for more emotional and dramatic love stories like this one. It was supposed to be fake, a marriage on paper, nothing more. But somewhere between the lies, the danger, and the vows I never meant to take, I fell for him. And the worst part? He never told me who he really was. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Mafia Hidden Dairy, for more emotional and dramatic love stories like this one. The rain had been tapping against my window for hours when the door to my office burst open. I didn't even look up at first. London nights had their fair share of chaos, but the sound of heels on the floor made me glance over. She stood there, soaked, breathing fast, eyes wide with panic. "Please," she said, "don't throw me out." I blinked. "You're in the wrong building. HR's 2 floors down. You're Jew Ward, right? Financial analyst?" "Unfortunately, yes." She locked the door behind her, and something in my chest tightened. "That's not a great sign," I muttered. "I need your help," she said. "You're the only one who can keep me alive." That sentence should have come with background music and a warning. I laughed, mostly to keep my heartbeat steady. "Keep you alive? I'm an accountant, not a hitman." "No guns," she whispered. "Just a proposal." I raised an eyebrow. "You're joking. I need you to marry me." I stared at her. Either I'd fallen asleep at my desk again, or she was completely serious. "You're insane," I said flatly. "Maybe. But if I don't find a husband tonight, I'll be forced to marry someone tomorrow. Someone dangerous." She wasn't joking. Her hands trembled as she brushed wet hair from her face. "You could fake your death," I said. "Less paperwork. A fake marriage is safer," she insisted. "It only needs to last a month." I leaned back. "And out of 8 million people in London, you chose me?" She stepped closer, her perfume mixing with the scent of rain and adrenaline. "You're perfect for it. Clean record. No ties. Invisible." I squinted. "You checked my record?" "I run internal security for Kingsley Holdings," she said quickly. "I saw your audit files. You're smart, quiet, reliable. Creepy," I muttered. Before I could say anything else, the door opened again. A tall man in a black suit entered, expressionless, but his presence screamed danger. "Who the hell is this?" I asked. "My bodyguard," she said. "Don't panic." "Oh, good," I said. Because nothing screams don't panic like being trapped in an office with strangers demanding marriage. She ignored my sarcasm. "Please, Jew, just sign the papers." "It's only pretend." The bodyguard placed a small folder on my desk. Inside, marriage license, signatures, legal stamps. Everything was ready. I stared at it. "You had this prepared?" "Desperation makes people efficient," she said softly. For a moment, her eyes caught mine. Green, trembling, but steady underneath. "That look, it didn't feel like a game. What are you running from?" I asked quietly. "My brother," she said. "Damien Kingsley." The name made something shift in my stomach. Everyone in London's finance world knew that name. Ruthless, untouchable, dangerous. "You want me to fake marry the sister of Damien Kingsley?" I asked. "Brilliant. That's how I die before tax season." "You'll be safe," she said quickly. "I swear." "He won't dare touch you if we're married." I should have laughed. I should have kicked them both out. Instead, I found myself signing the damn paper. "Unbelievable," I muttered. Her shoulders relaxed in relief. "Thank you," I sighed. "Don't thank me yet." The next evening, we stood in a small candlelit hall. Her hair was dry now, styled perfectly, but her eyes still carried that storm. The priest started the vows. Everything felt surreal. Fake names, fake smiles, fake promises. "Do you, Jew Ward, take Ava Kingsley?" "Apparently," I said before he could finish. She shot me a look, half amused, half warning. People in dark suits watched silently from the back. But one man caught my attention. Damien Kingsley himself. Sharp suit, colder eyes, smirking like he already knew every move I'd make. Ava squeezed my hand, and I felt her pulse racing. "Smile," she whispered through her teeth. I did. Barely. We kissed for the cameras, barely touching. But it felt like stepping into something dangerous. As soon as it ended, the priest was gone. Just gone. I turned around and the space he'd been standing in was empty. "Where's the officiant?" I whispered. Ava frowned. He was just there. Do all your weddings involve disappearing clergy? Her lips pressed tight. We should leave. Outside the air was colder, sharp with fog. Her bodyguard opened the car door and we slid inside. Halfway through the drive, she pulled out her phone and turned slightly away from me. I tried not to listen, but her voice dropped to a whisper. He doesn't know who I really am, she said. My chest went cold. I looked out the window as the city lights blurred past. My name might have been on that marriage certificate, but something told me this wasn't her first set of vows, and definitely not her first lie. The first week after the fake wedding felt like living with a stranger who never blinked. Ava moved into my flat, filled the kitchen with herbal tea, and avoided my eyes like I might explode. Every night I heard her pacing the hallway. Doors creaking, curtains shifting, no sleep. Just whispers on her phone that always stopped when I walked by. On the fourth night, I finally asked, "Who are you talking to at 3 a.m.? She froze near the window. "Work. At this hour?" Her voice cracked slightly. "Security never sleeps." I tried to laugh it off. Didn't work. The next morning she made coffee. I noticed her hand shaking when she poured the milk. "You okay?" I asked. "Fine. Because you look like you're hiding a crime scene." Her eyes flicked up. "I'm not hiding anything, Jew." That was lie number one. By evening, I couldn't take it anymore. I went into the kitchen to grab my laptop bag and found her purse half open on the counter. Inside, buried under lipstick and receipts, was a gun. For 3 full seconds, I just stared. My pulse hit my throat. I called out, "Ava." She came running, towel in her hand. "What?" I held up the gun. "Care to explain?" Her face drained. "Put that down." "I'm sorry, does the bride usually pack a Glock on her honeymoon?" "It's for protection," she said quickly. "From who?" She swallowed hard. "You wouldn't believe me. Try me." She hesitated. "Someone's trying to kill me." I almost laughed, except her eyes were wet, terrified, real. "Start from the beginning," I said quietly. My father worked for Kingsley Holdings. He handled offshore accounts. Before he died, he found out money was missing, millions. He told me to hide. Then his brakes failed. "So you think it wasn't an accident?" "I know it wasn't." Her voice cracked, and for a second I saw the truth behind all her lies. Fear. Genuine, bone-deep fear. Then knock, knock. We both froze. I whispered, "Expecting someone?" She shook her head. I opened the door. A man in a gray trench coat stood there flashing a badge. "Detective Harrow, London Metropolitan Police. May I come in?" "Now's not a great time," I said. He ignored me and stepped inside. "I just need a few questions answered, Mr. Ward." His eyes moved to Ava. "Mrs. Ward." Ava's fingers gripped the hem of her sleeve. "What's this about?" Harrow flipped open a file. "Your late father, Thomas Kingsley. We're reopening his embezzlement case. A few files went missing from his hard drive before his death. We believe someone close to him took them." "I don't know anything about that," she said fast. Too fast. I crossed my arms. "Detective, what does that have to do with me?" "You're her husband now," he said casually. "Legally, any assets or evidence in her possession belong to both of you." My stomach dropped. "Meaning if she's hiding something—" "You're both responsible," he finished. Ava's knuckles went white. "I'm not hiding anything." The detective stared at her for a long moment, then handed me his card. "If you find anything suspicious, call me. And Mr. Ward, good luck." When the door closed, silence swallowed the flat. I turned to her. "You care to tell me what that was about?" She sank into the chair. "He doesn't believe me." "Neither do I said. Her eyes flashed. "You think I'm lying?" "I know you're lying. There's a gun in your purse, cops at my door, and you keep saying everyone wants you dead. That's not a misunderstanding, that's a thriller plot." She stood, trembling. "You don't understand. Damien's not just my brother. He's the one who stole that money. And now he thinks my father gave me proof." I froze. "You have the files?" She shook her head. "No, but he thinks I do. That's why I needed you. He won't kill me if I'm married. It makes it look messy." "Fantastic," I muttered. "So I'm your human shield." Tears filled her eyes. "I didn't want this. I just wanted to survive." Something in her voice cracked the wall I'd built. Before I could respond, her phone buzzed. She picked it up, stared, and went pale. I grabbed it from her hand before she could hide it. The message glowed on the screen. "You chose the wrong man to protect you." A chill went through me. "Who sent this?" She shook her head. Unknown number. Could it be your brother? Maybe, or someone working for him. I sat down, pressing my palms against my temples. I should have never signed that damn paper, she whispered. You can still walk away. I looked at her, the fear in her eyes mixing with guilt. And let you get killed, no thanks. If I'm in, I'm in. Her lips parted.
Why would you do that?
Because, I said, glancing at my ring, I made a promise, even if it was fake. And for some reason it feels real now. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The city hummed outside like a heartbeat. Then a sound shattered the stillness. Glass breaking from the back room. Ava jumped. What was that? I stood, grabbing the gun from the table. Stay behind me. We moved down the hallway, the light flickering overhead. The window near the kitchen was open, the curtain swaying. No one there. Just the wind. But on the counter lay a small silver USB drive. I picked it up slowly.
Ava, what's this?
She stared, horror dawning across her face. That's what he's looking for. And just like that, I realized this marriage wasn't fake anymore. It was a trap. I couldn't sleep after finding that USB. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Ava's face, scared, beautiful, and possibly lying. So, I did what I shouldn't have done. I started digging. Google searches, company records, deep web archives, Kingsley Holdings, Damian Kingsley, offshore accounts. One name kept reappearing, mine. I leaned back, heart pounding. No, that's not possible. My name was listed under a shell company linked to money laundering. The fake marriage license wasn't fake anymore. It was a transaction. Footsteps. I shut the laptop fast. Ava appeared at the door in her robe. Couldn't sleep either? She asked softly. I forced a smile. Just finishing some work. Her eyes lingered on the laptop. Work that needs hiding? Shouldn't you be asking yourself that? Her expression faltered. What's that supposed to mean? It means, I said, standing, that I just found my name tied to your family's dirty accounts. Care to explain? She stepped closer, panic flashing. Jew, I swear I didn't know. Damian must have. Don't. I cut her off. Every time I catch you in a lie, you say his name like a shield. Because he's behind this. She cried. You think I'd risk your life? I was trying to protect you. By marrying me under false documents? She went quiet. Her tears came quick, always perfectly timed. I sighed. You're good, Ava, too good, she whispered. You don't trust me anymore. I don't even trust myself around you. Her face broke. She turned away, clutching her ring. I didn't mean for this to happen. Yeah. Well, neither did I. She left the room, and for a moment the silence felt heavier than any scream. The next day, I met a contact at a small cafe in Camden, a tech guy named Reed who owed me a favor. Run this USB, I told him. Tell me who's laundering the money. He slid his laptop across. Give me 10 minutes. I watched people outside the window, couples laughing, buses passing, life moving on without me. My fake marriage was turning into a real crime. Reed cursed under his breath. Mate, whoever's behind this, they're using your identity. Bank transfers, emails, even a new passport. My throat tightened. You're kidding. Wish I was. The digital signature's yours. Someone forged your biometric ID. If this goes public, you'll be on every wanted list in London. I pressed my palms against the table. Then it's not just Ava, it's Damian. Reed frowned. Who's Damian? My wife's brother. Reed blinked. Wait, wife? When did you... Long story. I grabbed the drive back. Send me the full report. As I stood to leave, my phone buzzed. An unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. A deep voice murmured, You shouldn't have looked, Jew. My spine went rigid. Who is this? The line went dead. By the time I reached home, my pulse was a hammer. Ava wasn't there. The lights were off, but someone was. Clara, Ava's quiet friend who'd been helping us settle in, was in my study. Searching drawers? Care to explain what the hell you're doing in my office? I said. She jumped, nearly dropping her phone. I was just looking for something? Or sending Damian another update. Her eyes widened. You know? I stepped closer. I'm not stupid, Clara. I saw your messages last week. His initials, the encrypted number. You've been feeding him everything. She looked down. He said he'd hurt my brother if I didn't. I rubbed my temples. So you spy on me instead? I'm sorry, Jew. I didn't think it would go this far. I pointed to the door. Get out. Please, just let me explain now. She flinched and ran out, nearly tripping over her bag. The door slammed, and I let out a shaky breath. My laptop chimed. I turned to see a notification. Bank account frozen due to fraud investigation. I sank into the chair. They've already started. The front door opened quietly. Ava stepped in, rain dripping from her hair. "You're awake?" she said carefully. "Barely." I gestured to the screen. "Look familiar?" She looked and froze. "Your account's frozen. All of them. So Ava, tell me again how you didn't know Damien was setting me up." Her voice trembled. "I didn't. Stop lying." I slammed the table. "You walked into my life with secrets, a gun, and a fake marriage license, and now my name's in his accounts." "Tell me why." Tears spilled down her cheeks. "Because he promised he'd stop if I married you." My chest tightened. "What?" "He said you were the only one who could prove his guilt. He wanted to use me to get close to you, to see what you knew. So you agreed?" "I had no choice," she screamed. "He would have killed me." I stared at her, my anger fading into something worse, emptiness. "And what about me, Ava? Did you ever think about what that would do to me?" She broke down. "I tried to warn you. Every night I wanted to tell you, but I couldn't. Then why are you still here?" "Because I fell for you, damn it." The words hit me like a punch. I wanted to believe her, but everything inside screamed don't. Before I could answer, my phone vibrated. A message. Unknown number. I opened it, and the world stopped. A photo, Ava and Damien, laughing together, his hand on her waist, her lips near his ear. I felt sick. She saw it on my face. "What is it?" I turned the screen toward her, her expression shattered. "Jew, that's not what it looks like. Save it," I said, voice hollow. "You played me." "No." "That was before. I don't care when it was." I took off the ring, placed it on the table. "This game ends now." She reached for me. "Please, listen." I stepped back. "I can't. Not anymore." Outside, thunder cracked like judgment. I grabbed my coat and walked out the door. Behind me, I heard her sob once, quiet, broken, before the sound of my footsteps drowned her out. I didn't remember much after leaving Ava that night. Just rain, sirens, and the bitter taste of betrayal. I ran. No plan, no direction. Just away. Then I heard a voice behind me. "Still running from your ghosts, Jew?" I froze. That voice. Lena? She stepped out of the shadows, soaked and angry. My sister. The one I hadn't spoken to in 3 years. "Nice welcome," she said, lighting a cigarette. "You really know how to pick the wrong women." "I don't have time for this." She grabbed my arm. "You don't have a choice. They're coming for you." "Who?" "The Kingsleys." She blew out smoke. "Damien planned your fake marriage. Ava was part of it." My stomach turned. "No, she didn't." "She did," Lena said flatly. "He wanted her inheritance. Marrying you gave him access to the trust fund. You were a name, a pawn." I shook my head. "She didn't know. She couldn't." "Then why did she visit Damien last week behind your back?" I stared at her, speechless. Lena handed me a small flash drive. "That's every file Damien kept on you. He used Ava to sign them." I took it, my hands shaking. "Why are you helping me?" She smiled faintly. "Because you're still my brother, even if you're a fool." By morning, I'd crossed the city. My only thought, find Ava. When I finally did, it was in the worst place imaginable. Damien's private estate. 2 guards at the gate. Black cars. Silence heavy as guilt. I waited until sunset, then slipped in through the back garden. My heart wouldn't stop racing. Inside the glass corridor, I saw her. Ava. She looked destroyed. Bruises on her wrist. Eyes swollen. Her body stiff like she'd been holding her breath for days. "Ava," I whispered. She turned. For a moment, disbelief crossed her face. "Jew? Yeah, it's me." Her lips trembled. "You shouldn't have come." Too late. Damien's voice cut through the air, smooth and venomous. Touching reunion. He walked in, flanked by 2 men with guns. I wondered how long before my little actor came back. I clenched my fists. "You framed me." "You used her," he smirked. "Used?" She volunteered. Ava flinched. "Damien, quiet." He raised a hand. "You wanted to save him, didn't you?" "Well, congratulations. He's alive because I said so." I stepped forward. "What the hell are you talking about?" He laughed softly. "The only reason you're breathing, Jew, is because she begged me to spare you." My chest tightened. I looked at Ava. She couldn't meet my eyes. "Tell me he's lying," I said. Tears rolled down her cheek. "I thought I could fix it. I didn't want you to die. My voice broke. You lied to me, again. I had no choice. Everyone keeps saying that. I snapped. But somehow I'm the one who always pays for it. Damien waved his hand. Enough. Take him. The guards moved, but before they could grab me, a loud voice shouted from the hall. Police! Drop your weapons! Detective Harrow stormed in with armed officers. For a moment, everything froze. Then chaos, gunfire erupted. Glass shattered. People screamed. I dove for cover, dragging Ava behind a marble column. Bullets ripped through the walls. Stay down! I yelled. She clung to me, trembling. I'm sorry, Jew. I swear I didn't know how far he'd go. Not now. I pulled my gun from my jacket, the one I swore I'd never use again, and aimed toward the chaos. Damien's men were falling one by one. Harrow shouted orders, his voice drowned by sirens outside. Then I saw Damien slipping through the side door. He's getting away. I sprinted after him, down the hall, through broken glass and smoke. My lungs burned. Damien! I yelled. He turned, grinning. Still think you're the hero? I'm not, I said. But I'll make sure you don't walk out of here. He raised his gun. I fired first. The sound was deafening. He dropped to his knees, clutching his shoulder, sneering even through the pain. You think you've won? You'll never be free of her. I walked closer. Maybe not, but I'll never be your victim again. He tried to lift his gun again, and then a single shot echoed. Not mine. Ava stood behind him, her hand shaking, the gun still smoking. I couldn't let him hurt you, she whispered. Damien collapsed, eyes wide in shock. You shot me? She knelt beside him, crying. I'm sorry, brother, he smiled faintly. You were always weak. Then he was gone. When it was over, Harrow's team swept the mansion. Paramedics dragged bodies out. I stood in the rain outside, watching blue lights flash against the black sky. Ava came to stand beside me, her voice barely a whisper. You hate me now, don't you? I looked at her, really looked. The woman who lied, betrayed, and saved me all in the same breath. I don't know what I feel, I said honestly. But I know one thing. The truth buried us both. She nodded, eyes glistening. Then maybe it's time to dig ourselves out. Before I could answer, Harrow walked over, holding a folder. Ward, the investigation proves you were framed. But the Kingsley scandal isn't over, I exhaled. It never is. Ava slipped her hand into mine. Tentative. Unsure. For once I didn't pull away. The rain kept falling, washing blood off the steps, but not the guilt. And in that silence, I realized love and betrayal feel the same when you're standing in the wreckage. Silence has a strange sound after gunfire. It's heavy, like the air itself is holding its breath. For days, I kept hearing the echo of that night. The sirens, the shouting, Damien's last words before Harrow dragged him away. She begged me to spare you. I should have hated Ava for that. I tried to, but every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face, pale, shaking, whispering my name in the dark. I went back to my flat in London, pretending life could go back to normal. Same walls, same desk, same cup of cold coffee that tasted like dust. The silence wasn't peace anymore. It was punishment. Then one morning I found an envelope on my doorstep. No name, just my own written in looping handwriting I'd know anywhere. Ava's. My heart stuttered as I opened it. You once said fake vows. I want to say real ones this time. Ava. The address was a church by the Thames. I told myself not to go. I told myself I was done with her lies. But my hands were already on the steering wheel before I finished reading. The church stood quiet, abandoned. Dust floated in the morning light like snow. My footsteps echoed as I walked inside, half expecting an ambush. And then I saw her. Ava stood near the altar, wearing the same white dress from our fake wedding, torn at the sleeve, but still beautiful in a way that hurt to look at. You came, she said softly. I almost didn't. But you did. Her voice trembled, and for once there was no act behind it. Just fear and something that looked too much like love. You shouldn't have written me, I said. It's dangerous. I had to, she whispered. You deserve to know the truth, I laughed bitterly. Another truth? Or another lie? Her eyes filled with tears. I didn't know Damien's plan, Jew. I swear I didn't. You knew enough. I fell in love with you before I realized it was real, she said, and her voice cracked. My chest tightened. You used me, Ava. You used my name, my life, everything. I used your safety to survive, she said. But I never meant to use your heart. For a long time, we just stood there, the clock ticking behind us. I wanted to believe her, but my trust was too bruised to move. You could have told me, I said finally. She took a step closer. And you would have believed me? No, I wouldn't have. Not back then. But standing there now, I wasn't so sure. Why come back? I asked because I don't want to run anymore. Not from Damien, not from you. She reached into her pocket and pulled out something small, the fake wedding ring. She held it out with shaking hands. You said once it didn't mean anything, she whispered. It didn't, I said. Then why are you still wearing yours? I looked down. The ring still clung to my finger, cold and unmovable. I hadn't even noticed. I laughed quietly. Guess I never learned how to take it off. Her tears turned into a broken smile. Then don't. Not this time. I took her hand. It was trembling, warm against my cold fingers. For the first time since everything fell apart, breathing didn't hurt. Do you really think this can work? I asked. It already has, she said. You showed up. I almost kissed her then. Almost. But before I could, I heard footsteps behind us, slow, echoing. Beautiful reunion, a voice said. I turned. Detective Harrow stood near the door, coat wet from rain, eyes sharp as ever. You really thought it was over, didn't you? He said. He's in prison, I replied. It's done, Harrow smiled faintly. Damien, yes. But the files, the ones you both buried, they're not gone. And she didn't tell you everything, did she? I looked at Ava. Her face went pale. What files? I demanded. Harrow stepped closer, lowering his voice. Ask your wife. He left then, his footsteps fading into the rain. Ava didn't move. She just stood there, tears silently falling as thunder rolled outside the church. And for the first time I realized maybe our fake vows had become real. But the lies still were too.